Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I got three topics for this video, and the topics are obviously very important. Otherwise, I wouldn't have picked them and I wouldn't make a video. The first one, Trump calls Putin a professional. He is a professional. Well, I will discuss that in the context of the meeting between JFK, remember that one, with Nikita Khrushchev in Vienna. And if you're not familiar with what happened during that meeting, please read JFK's statements. But that's the first one. The second one, Mr. Reznikov, the former defense minister of Ukraine, Jewish, together with Zelensky Stein and Yermak Stein and Zmihal Stein, his house was raided in corruption probe. Are they trying to make sure that Mr. Reznikov is safe, as Mr. Kolokovsky, I think his name is, and I call him colonoscopy? All right, we're going to talk about that one. Remember, there were the 4 pigs at the beginning, and now there are only 3 pigs, and they brought Umerov, the Tatar, a lot of Ukrainians in the Ukrainian leadership. And then we have news that I've been waiting for some time. Not that I'm celebrating it, because this piece of news is going to work against me maybe. But you know, competition is always good. And that is the BRICS volume of financial assets reaches $60 trillion, half of the global assets. That means IMF and World Bank are in big trouble. Why? Because BRICS Bank grows, increases, and when those guys will decide to really switch out of the petrodollar, we are fucked. Proper fucked. All right, let's start with the first article and first topic. Russia Today. This is from July 5th, 2025. Putin is, and I'm quoting, a professional, Trump says. Russia has been able to handle Western sanctions. They failed. So what do? You readjust, you assess and readjust. The US president has acknowledged. Russian President Vladimir Putin is, and I'm quoting, a professional who has learned how to handle Western sanctions. But he understands that more could come if the Ukraine conflict is not settled, Trump said. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One Friday, Trump confirmed that the two leaders discussed potential sanctions during Thursday phone call. And I'm quoting, I would say he, Putin, is not thrilled with it. But you know, he's been able to handle sanctions. But these are pretty biting sanctions. The Russian president had added, is fully aware that the US could ramp up the pressure. And I'm quoting, you know, he's a professional. It may be coming. So, we might, or these guys might dislike the so-called white man's culture. Like, show up on time, be disciplined, tell the truth, base your evidence about your statements on facts, support them with evidence instead of identifying, or be laid back and show up whenever you feel like. You know what I mean? So they might, say that this is wrong, even though without that, we're going to wait for the bananas and the coconut to drop from the trees instead of working hard to create more trees, therefore get them ourselves. Hey, this is hard work. You have to show up on time. You have to do it when the weather allows, when the seasons change. You have to calculate, you have to think, you have to hurt. You can't be laid back. If you're laid back, you're going to wait for the coconut to drop on your head. So, we love, all of a sudden, that other people are professional. What does it mean to be professional? To know what you're doing and to do it. That's what it is to be professional. If I say something, that would be it. That's why I personally, Emil Kosman, never, I don't say never because I did it in the past, long time ago. But I currently or never give my word. I never swear unless it's a joke. And I say, I swear God, especially when I make a joke about lying. I swear God, tomorrow I'm going to give you $1 million that I have in my sock right here. You only see it? You see it? Okay. All right. But it's defended with a Walter, with a, and not only, with a Colt, with a Ruger, with a Remington, with an AK-47, with blah, 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 blah. All right. No, send them on me. They're all legal. So what we have here, they love professionalism. Remember, I don't promise, I just give you what I give you. If I say, I see you tomorrow, that's it. If you don't believe me, I don't care. Bye-bye. So he likes that Putin is a professional. Of course he's a professional. Let's go back to 1960s, early 1960s, when JFK met Khrushchev in Vienna, the Soviet leader. Now, I think we, the knowledgeable people, the ones based in scientific evidence, we know that the environment shapes organisms. There is a easy environment will create most likely weak organisms. Why? They don't have to climb or plant things or postpone gratification. The coconut will fall. Right? So weak. Is it down yet, honey? No. All right. Wake me up when it's down. So weak organisms. Harsh environments create strong organisms. So when Mr. JFK, soft environment, showed up with soft organism, showed up in Vienna with a harsh guy from a harsh environment, Soviet Union, mind you, JFK was knocked the fuck up. That's what, or out. That's what happened with JFK, according to his words. He was sweating. He was like in a boxing game that he could not do anything. The guy was tough. Why? The environment creates organisms if the organism is to survive and succeed. So remember, Khrushchev, as he was supposedly a funny guy, he was like a comedian, like a clown. All right? He still got to be the best, the guy in charge of Soviet Union, where at every corner you could be grabbed, boom, and shot in the back of the head by the NKVD. With their Kaganoviches in charge. At that time he wasn't anymore, but nevertheless, or Beria or other baboons. So that's what exactly Trump has to do. Well, Trump dealt with some boys, oh my God, some boys in New York City. It's true, but he's never the threat of these guys. So, of course he's a professional. He's all business. Tell me when you heard, for instance, Putin using a foul language or bad language or calling someone in a certain way. Maybe you can find one or two examples. But these guys continually call people in this and that. And they're not making it because they are trying to be funny. They're just, the environment allows them. Show business. Show business. So this is the first one. He's a professional. Next. Got to my little rat here. Russia Today. Ex-Ukrainian defense minister's home raided in corruption probe. This is the suspect. The move could be linked to a scandal involving procurement of food for soldiers at inflated prices, reports have suggested. So, Ukrainian anti-corruption agents have raided the home of Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov, according to several Ukrainian media outlets. Maybe. So, officers from the National Anti-Corruption Bureau seize an undeclared smartphone, fuck me, Freddy, and certain documents from Reznikov's apartment, according to reports by Strana UA. Why undeclared smartphone? Maybe there's some information in it and they try to break it. That's what it is. I don't think they're undeclared. So that means he had some contacts parallel with what he's supposed to. Alright, so the investigation is said to be connected to a major embezzlement case dating back to Reznikov's time as a defense minister. Remember, Reznikov was fired but not charged with anything. Then I was like, why? Just because he's the Zelensky Stein? Alright. In the early April, the NABU announced that it was investigating the misappropriation of more than 733 million hryvnia, approximately $16.6 million earmarked for military food procurement. The suspects also allegedly attempted to embezzle an additional $18.9 million under the same scheme. So Reznikov supposedly did not know anything, and those guys were indicted, but not Reznikov. Reznikov just took the money and left and became a lawyer, what he was before, or a professor, one of the two, or both. I think he reopened his business. That's what he did. So this is Reznikov. I suspect Reznikov will be either put under protection, as Mr. Kolokovsky is, colonoscopy as I'm calling. They arrested Kolokovsky and they put him in jail. What jail? We don't know. What palace jail? So that's the guy who is Jewish with Israeli documents and all that, and Ukrainian, all right? And he was one of the main sponsors of Yermak, the movie producer, and the clown, the actor, the comedian, Zelensky Stein. All an operation, a Romanian operation. Please do not connect any dots. Not allowed by the gatekeepers of the truth. So that's how Kolokovsky got in power. And then I think Kolokovsky stepped on some people's cocks somewhere, and those guys are looking for him, if you know what I mean. Like Russia, Ukraine style. And then Kolokovsky asked his buddy, protect me with a state. And he arrested him, put him in a jail, and Kolokovsky is taking a shit on the metal sheeter. Colonoscopy. But I think he's safe over there from the guys looking for him from outside, the snipers. Is he out yet? No, he's not out yet, but I'm right here, okay? I'm right here. And the other guy, the same. There's a few units waiting for Kolokovsky coming out. And that's how I think it is. And the same thing will happen probably with Reznikov. If not, Reznikov picks up his bags and goes to his masters, Great Britain. And that's where they're going to go, in London or New York, one of the two. That's where they usually go. Or it's going to be put for safekeeping by Zelensky Stein, and when the war ends and this echelon, these pigs are out, they will live together with everybody else from the prison. You're going to see Kolokov's going to fly somewhere in London or New York. The same with all these guys, you know. We got to get out of this place. Woo! That's with the money, with the luggage. That's why I'm get out. And the Ukrainians will be like, where are they going? Go and fight for those guys. All right? So that's what with Reznikov. Nothing will happen to Reznikov. Or they want to give him a clean sheet, clean whatever you want to kill it. You want to call it. The same happened in Romania. There are some people who did some hanky-panky. They made some illegalities at the beginning. They became multi-millionaires in dollars, and then they went back. They got to the initial little crimes. It's like you enter a room, so they charge him for entering the room and then looting the whole room. No, there was not charged. Just for entering were charged, and they went 1 year with suspension in jail, watching TV and okay, and then they got out clean. I have a few names. Politicians and people with money got millionaires, multi-millionaires, just like that, and they got charged. I go to prison for 1 year or jail, that kind of jail, if you let my millions intact, and they're now clean, beautiful citizens. Yeah, with a criminal record, but who cares? The same with these guys. Maybe they want to wash up these guys' past with a little charge of something, and he's got the billions in the bank. I'm just saying, I don't know if that's the case, but, I got my feelings. Nothing more than feelings. And now we go to Sputnik, where we find out that BRICS is hurting the Americans or the interests harnessing America where it hurts the most. Money. Of course, banks. Total volume of financial assets of BRICS reaches $60 trillion. And here it is, Rio de Janeiro. Neither Putin nor Xi Jinping attended the BRICS summit in Rio de Janeiro for obvious reasons. Why? Putin for obvious, and it seems like Xi Jinping doesn't want to be fucked up now that he's going to probably join Russia in Ukraine. The total volume of financial assets of BRICS countries reached $60 trillion, Russian Finance Minister Anton Siluanov said on Friday, and I'm quoting, "The total volume of financial assets of BRICS countries has reached about more than $60 trillion, that is more than 50% of the world's level. That is more than G7. Siluanov said that the opening ceremony of the Board of Governors of the New Development Bank in Rio de Janeiro. In these conditions, the model of the New Development Bank is also being transformed. There you have, from the Bank of the BRICS countries to the Bank of the Global South, it is expanding its geography. New countries are joining the bank. We welcome Algeria, Uzbekistan, and Colombia, Siluavo said. So what does it mean? You see, people, older people, or people who paid attention, or both, they remember, or if they don't, that Saddam Hussein, but before Saddam Hussein, it was Ceausescu. Ceausescu, yeah, that bad dude. He wanted to create a bank for the developing countries that would be parallel to the World Bank. It was World Bank at that point. That means the creditors, the guy that give you money and then they rip you off because they give you the money under certain circumstances. That's what they do. They give you the money and say, I give you the money, but you gotta implement these policies that we are gonna manage. And then you go bankrupt by my policies, and then I take your assets. So I own you. You got it? I own you. The same thing with the banks. The banks give you so someone produces the house, right? Makes the house, builds the house. You go and get a loan. The bank is just giving you numbers, right? It's not backed up by anything, not backed up by gold. It's just a number. It gives you the number. You get a loan. You can't pay the loan because of the interest and your life. And you give the house not to the builder, to the bank. And that's how a bank acquired a finite thing that they never built, but they acquired it on some numbers, not backed by gold or anything, given to me. So now they have a property with numbers that they gave to a baboon like me. You understand how the racket works here? And after that, they give it to another baboon. Another one is going to put it for sale. And for sale, they're going to do the same thing until they find someone to give money. But that's their house. That's property based on numbers. Numbers. That's what it is. Numbers. They don't give you the money. It's numbers. Remember, a bank can lend you money up to 10 times of its reserves. So if I have, let's say, Emil Kosman, I have $1, I can give you $10. Up to $10, I can give you a loan. But I have only $1. Can I do this? No, I can't. Only the banks can do that. Why? They're a little bit better than us. Right? So the same when the World Bank or International Monetary Fund are doing these things to the countries, you tell me the success stories on this planet where they entered, in what countries, what markets, and they oh my God, it's a success story. All those countries, I suspect, are owned by these banks. They got the bank, they got the things, because a country as a person uses collateral. Collateral if I can't make the payments and my economy implodes. And then the bank comes again and gives you the opportunity to be owned by them. And you say, yes, I will. So this is with the banks. When Ceausescu did that, he got killed. When Saddam Hussein wanted to do that, he got killed. When the Libyan dictator, an evil guy, Gaddafi, wanted the same thing with his African friends, he got killed. So we'll see if Putin or Xi Jinping or these guys in BRICS countries, Lula da Silva and Ramaphosa of South Africa, or Mr. Modi will dare to do that. They're doing it. And it seems like it hurts these guys' biggest head of the Hydra. That's what it is. So what can they do? Well, Trump said he's going to impose this, he's going to do this, he's going to destroy them if they drop the dollar. BRICS said, no, we're not going to drop the dollar yet. No, we're not going to. When they're going to be strong enough, cohesive enough, they will say, yeah, we dropped the dollar. They already talked about a new banknote, a new currency. But they said, no, that was just in the dream. They presented it, but they told the Americans, no, we're just kidding, we're just kidding. Kidding, joke. They just buy time, and the Americans know that, because once the dollar is lost as the world's currency, the reserve currency, and the petrodollar, we are screwed. We have to start producing shit. If not, we're going to produce services. All right, that kind of services. At least after that, you get something, but the Americans know. They're going to do a massage on the wooden table. Or a wooden chair, as we say in Romania. I massage my wooden chair, my wooden leg. Why? You don't feel anything. So that massage is zero, is mocha, has no value. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.